During the 2 months of the strike, we all suffered from a lot of physical and mental stress. People were worried about their future, and the atmosphere was very tense. We wondered, where would we go? How would we manage to earn our daily bread? Our children were studying outside. What could we do about them?
Because we will be completely shattered. We were having a peaceful life, everything was okay, and then what will happen? It was such a tense moment. My father never said anything, but everyone was tense. But I used to think, what will happen if my father loses his job? Everything will be finished.
2 मार्च 2001 को भारत सरकार ने स्टरलाइट
On 2nd March 2001, the government of India signed an agreement with Sterlite Industries to sell 51% of the shares in Balco. Soon after the news was out, on the 3rd of March 2001, Balco employees went on strike from the morning 6 o'clock shift. It was a strange atmosphere here. People faced uncertainties and tension. People were fearful. There was a lot of apprehension. In particular, employees and their family members had a lot of fear.
When we sat in the strike, we had a lot of doubts about what might happen to us. In Balco, we worked in the government service. Our futures were secure. We did not know what would happen to us when the private sector came in. It was like starting a new job. A lot of people used to say that the new owners will come and there will be retrenchments. We did not know. Anything could happen.
The apprehension right across the spectrum was that the private sector, when it comes in, will come in as a monster and take away the privileges, perks, even the pay of the employees, which was genuine in their mind.
मेरा नाम GL शुक्ला है मैं पेशे से पत्रकार हूं
My name is GL Shukla. I am a journalist by profession. I have been reporting from the Korba region for the past 20 years. Balco is the largest industry in the Korba region. It has 6,500 regular employees and 3,000 contract laborers. Also, there are dozens of supporting units here, which employ thousands of workers whose daily bread is linked to Balco. Additionally, there are businessmen here, and there are citizens here who depend on Balco in many different ways.
There used to be a lot of mental tension at home between Papa and Mummy. My father's silence made it hard for us to study. Papa used to go out every half an hour. He used to see the atmosphere there and then return home. And he used to describe everything to Mummy. Papa had a lot of tension then. A lot of financial problems had come in. When Papa used to come back, we were not allowed to hear what Papa and Mummy were discussing. We were told to leave the room. They told us to go and study.
Some of the officers were beaten up. This made us afraid about father's safety, whether he was okay or not. Some people started saying, "Call your husbands back from the plant, or else we will go in and kill them." People told us these kind of things.
बाल्को के अधिकारी और कर्मचारी भी और यहाँ का
Officers and employees as well as everybody here regards the smelters as the heart of Balco. After 15 days, it looked likely that the smelters would close. Once they realized that the smelters might close, the officers who were inside struggled to somehow keep the smelters alive. Naturally, they were tense and concerned. They were not alone. It was also a big concern for Balco's ordinary workers. Officers and workers knew that if the smelter closed, the plant would be shut down. When Balco was privatized, the employees here had a lot of uncertainties. But similar uncertainties had already been faced in other parts of the country a year before.
I have been elected as General Secretary of the Lagan Jute Machinery Labour Union for the 4th time. Earlier, I was in the Communist Party of India. In 1990, I joined the CITU. We had a lot of fear that after Lagan goes private, it will not be so good for workers. This was what many people said. We discussed it a lot, but everybody told us one thing, that Lagan does not have the power to stop this privatization. This is a policy of the government of India, so everybody has to wait and see.
Our unions have all along been good, but of course before privatization, they had some fear. After privatization, they have come to know that look, there is nothing bad going to happen to them.
During that time, one would see that work was going on, but machines were not selling. Work was going on, but materials were not available on time. Work was going on, but salaries were not paid on time. After privatization, there was a meeting with the new owners and our new managing director, Mr. Das Gupta. They told us, now that Lagan is privatized, do not fear.
During the month of July 2000, that is last year, it has been privatized. We said our bit that there was memorandum of our understanding and then shareholders agreement. Those were done and those were quite transparent. Nothing was hidden. I know this company since 1963. I feel very happy to work here because it's my old company, and all these boys there know me very well, and I know them very well. I told them two things when I first came to this factory. One is that you are going to get your salary on 1st of every month, and your social security, which you are supposed to get at when you will be retired, fully secured.
Now that it is privatized, those who are working have nothing to fear. Those 50 people who used to work less now realize that they have to work harder. We see another good thing. Despite downsizing, despite voluntary retirement going on and workers being retrenched, here in Lagan, new people are being hired and 50 trade apprentices have been brought in.
During public sector, we found that the policies are so rigid. Sudhakar Kundu was an operator, very good operator. If I want to make Mr. Sudhakar Kundu as a charge hand, I have to go to the MD, who will possibly go to the board and take a decision and come back. So as I was telling you, in spite of our endeavor, trial, we could not do it. So we could do it now.
After my appointment, I worked in the central lab here for 10 to 12 years. After that, I was put on the CNC machine. I worked there for 18 years. Now the management has recognized my hard work and made me a charge hand. This promotion, actually speaking, should have happened long before, but that was not part of the system back then. Compared to earlier times, work has progressed a lot, and I am doing my best to keep working better.
Whatever proposal is made by the management, we compromise, just like our security services when they were privatized.
I served in the army for 17 years. After all those years, I got my Havildari pension. I came to Lagan and got a job in the security department. I also spent 17 years here. After it was privatized, our entire department was closed and security services were contracted out to another company. But they asked us to work inside. In 2 to 3 months, I have learned almost everything to do with my new job. Things are good, and they will be better when I complete learning everything.
We used to spend 60,000 rupees per person on security, which means that the monthly salary of a security person was 5,000 rupees. Now they get 1,800. We agreed to the sacrifice. The company wanted to take these people into production, and we also agreed.
We have to earn our own livelihood. Means we have to make profit. The company, the owners, the shareholders have to be satisfied, and the workmen, people, all employees will also be satisfied.
I have taken 1 or 2 engineers because the jute industry, we are using the same 50 years old machinery. So we got to give something to the industry by which the cost of production of the finished jute goods comes down. And accordingly, we are going to spend a lot of money for this advancement. Investment is definitely got to be there. This was the only way for the survival of Lagan. Otherwise, the next few years, Lagan, we couldn't see the Lagan.
At Modern Food Industries, we have a lot of visitors from right down kindergarten to university level. This helps us enhance our image with the public. In the food industry, we have got to ensure that our hands are clean before we operate the machines or touch the product. Earlier, we had a tap. Now, we have a foot-operated faucet that ensures you do not touch the tap after your hands are sanitized in a solution of potassium permanganate. These changes on enhanced hygiene and sanitation has come about with the takeover by the new management. Come with me.
On 31st of January 2000, Hindustan Lever entered into an agreement with the Government of India and acquired 74% of the equity in Modern Food Industries India Limited. Before privatization, we had a loss of 48.2 crores, mostly due to government dues, taxes, non-functional assets, and loss-making units, and substandard performance of the units.
If you are a customer of a particular product, well before privatization, they used to bother, yes, this is the bread that we are getting from the government, which is not equivalent to the quality of a private enterprises, competitor. Now they are proudly saying, yes, Modern is having much better quality what it was when it was in the government.
During the first year of performance under Hindustan Lever management, the sale has increased from 78 crores to 102 crores. And during this year, the first 6 months, the sales have grown up by 80% compared to the previous year. Employee salaries has also gone up by 1,600 rupees per month per person. All these things could not have been possible had we been continuing in a government control.
We are very happy. Hyderabad is a big city. In some colonies, my friends used to ask me, is your company closed? We never see your bread anywhere. Other companies' bread is always available. Now, our bread is available everywhere, on every street and every alley.
When we first walked into Modern Foods and all the units across the country, we could sense that the biggest concern at that point in time was one of retrenchment. We told every employee of the company that our intent here is to run and develop a highly successful bread business, for which we need good quality people who know how to do that business. In fact, we clearly stated that no employee will be retrenched. Wherever we have surplus employees, and Modern Foods does have surplus employees, we have offered to employees a VRS scheme, which is hugely attractive for the employees and which is completely voluntary.
I have worked in the Modern Bakery for 30 years. Then I took VRS. Government offered us 45 days VRS, but the new owners offered us 65 days. So I received 3,67,000 rupees for my years of service. I have put this money into fixed deposit. Now, every month I get the same as my salary used to be. My children and my wife are all very happy. Now, I work for a multinational company. But my wife and children ask me, do you have job security? They don't realize that things are different. I tell them nothing is going to happen to us now. This company won't do such things. The strike went on for 67 days. After the two parties reached an agreement, it ended on May 8, 2001. Balco's management announced that no worker will ever be retrenched. Then, the Balco smelters, which were supposed to take 2 months to repair, were made fully operational in 15 days, one after another.
The strike ended and we felt happy. We could keep earning our living. We are workers here. We are mazdoors. Earlier we used to work and now we are also working. And as problems come, we will tackle them. After all, we tackled the strike, which was the biggest problem we ever had to face.
The losses from the Balco strike are estimated at between 100 to 150 crores. it might have cost a similar amount to the support industries, the local businessmen, the other people who had business with Balco, and everyone else attached to the region's biggest employer. During the Balco strike, the business in this market bazaar fell by around 70%. How did the strike affect you?
We were almost ready to leave this place during the strike.
How much are you selling now? How much did you sell then?
Then it was almost nothing.
The government declared that all the public sector undertakings except the vital ones will be privatized. So what happened that the employees of the other public sector undertakings, they thought that they are next in the firing line, and if they can stop the Balco privatization, they will be saved from the trouble of opposing privatization on their home turf. So what they did, that they intensified the movement. Everyone was coming to Balco, all union leaders from West Bengal, from South India, from North India. They were coming here, they were saying that, okay, opposite, we are with you, you can reverse the deal. And they were just giving promises and firing up the people here.
Nobody has ever benefited from strikes. Not the worker, not the management, not the country. When there is no production, how can you imagine that the country has benefited or that anybody has benefited? We all agree, the strike did not help anybody. All I've got to say is that if we are prepared to work properly, if we are prepared to work hard, the private sector has more scope.
Balco is a 30-year-old factory. Right from the beginning, it was running up losses. To stop losing money, they started a captive power plant in 1990. Then Balco slowly moved towards profitability. 5 years back, Balco recorded profits of 170 crore, the highest so far. But in the last 4 or 5 years, those profits of 170 crores were slowly declining. The next year, it fell to 120 crores. And in the last year, the year 2000, it stuck at 25 to 30 crores. Officers used to say that with Balco's old technology, it cannot become profitable without modernization. But the government had thrown up its hands, saying that we do not have money and we cannot invest any further.
The issue is not privatization, issue is making this company bigger. A modern aluminium smelter in a world-class situation is generally of the order of 250,000 ton per annum. We are 100,000 ton per annum. We need to grow. All this means more opportunities, I would put it. All this means retaining all the people we have. The very idea of handing over the management of this company to a private party is to ensure that the growth comes. I am sure the growth is going to come through modernization. The growth is going to come through expansion.
One difference in our work is that we are about to stop using typewriters. As a result of this, time will be saved and work will be simpler. When you work with computers, speed increases and we no longer need these antiquated filing systems.
After this privatization, we have noticed the movement of file is very fast. I moved a proposal for procurement of computer. See this file? I have moved the proposal on 1st of August 1999. Until date, I am yet to get a computer. But after privatization, my boss said, within 15 days you will be getting a computer. That itself is a great change.
Balco's headquarters was in Delhi, and all the officers depended on Delhi for everything. Let's say that there was a problem in the plant, and it could be repaired immediately by spending 10,000 rupees to 1 or 2 lakhs. Then production could be resumed. But no officer sitting here in Korba could spend that amount of money. So the plant lost lakhs of rupees. Today, Sterlite Industries has its MD based here. The advantage is, if there is any problem in the plant, they need not go to Delhi. A decision can be taken in 2 minutes while you wait. The employees are very encouraged by this. Another good thing is that the new management's MD frequently visits the plant. Earlier, people saw officers inside the plant once or twice in a year, and it used to be like a festival.
I had an opportunity to talk to various sections of my employees. Our style is to have transparency in all our dealings. We had also said that we are not going to change many things. We said that it's a very, very old factory with a heritage and history behind it. All I requested was, please retain what is good. Please change what is not so good. Please allow us to bring in something good from outside.
In the government, nobody used to come on time. Everybody had made up excuses like, sir, I'm coming a little late. Or they made a phone call saying, sir, I'm coming in 5 or 10 minutes. Nobody used to come in uniform. But now after privatization, everybody comes to work on time. Everybody comes in uniform. Those who ignored safety procedures are now working safely. This means that our work has also changed. Much work used to be done in overtime. Now we are all working much faster. Overtime is not needed at all. So nobody needs to be paid for overtime. What used to take more than 8 hours is being done within 8 hours.
Today, as you know, all these public sector units are breeding grounds for corruption. This is the reason for privatization and disinvestment. It has been reported that Balco officers were so engrossed in corruption that gold bricks were seized from their houses. But there has been a powerful change here. Since privatization, I have not seen any wrongdoing by any Balco officer or worker. It was a bad storm. It came and it passed by. Now, we have a feeling of brotherhood, working for mutual benefit. Everyone wants to see this company grow.
After privatization, each of us hopes our boss will notice us and will get rewarded for the hard work that we do. Earlier we used to work hard, but it used to be keep working, and only after 4 or 5 years would the next grade come. We used to wait for promotion, but now it doesn't look like we have to keep waiting. Now our hard work will attract our boss's attention. So the boss will say, okay, this boy is hardworking, let's move him ahead. He's been a hard worker, so he will keep on working hard.
The people of Chhattisgarh are very hardworking. If they work hard, they can take any organization to any height overnight. It is generally accepted, and to people like me, it is obvious. Balco's old technology was a big problem. The new management has said that they will modernize the plant. New technology combined with Balco people working hard and working hard together means that Balco's future looks very prosperous, very bright. There is a saying amongst the people of Korba that Balco's employees make silver out of stones. But now, Balco employees face a new challenge, turning silver into gold.